Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal big footy rules still apply. Alright, so this is the Flogcast for round 14. The Tiggy Train jumper Starburns from Richmond is here, and I'm joined by the number one fan of the Hawthorn Power Ranger Guernsey Penal.
G'day.
Mr. Moral Victory himself, Cooksen.
Hello.
The Melty bandwagon jumping Mayor of East Geelong, Teach.
Hello.
Dane Swan's number one fan from Collingwood, Morgan Ashley.
Hello, Flogs.
And joining us from the Elizabeth Street 7-Eleven, we've got Dan.
Yeah, hello, how's it going? Get on with it.
We'll go straight into it. Goo or tears? I'll go first. I've got goo for Sam Mitchell.
Oh, the cheeky little bugger.
That was fantastic. Everything about it. We'll discuss it in depth later, but it's amazing, as it's been pointed out since, it's amazing that someone hasn't done it already, but the best part was that he did it, and then he, quotation marks, apologised for it, but didn't really apologise for it. And
What a fucking legend.
Why did he even apologise?
He didn't apologise. He just he softened it in the aftermath so that the AFL and everyone didn't sook over it. You can tell. If you listen to him, he's not particularly remorseful.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, it's like a I'm sorry you got offended apology. That's basically what it was.
He should have turned around and said, "Oh, well, get fucked." I mean, you know.
He's not you.
Teach, this is about diplomacy, which you should be good at. International diplomacy champion.
That's excellent. Who's got another one? Who's got some goo or some tears?
I've got tears.
Umpires?
For the useless sack of shit called Sam Gilbert.
Wasn't he just a massive?
What did he do? What did he do?
Potatoes.
He was that shit. Like, I'm watching the game, trying to chat up some girls. He does obvious fuck ups all the time, so I'm shaking my head, looking really angry and despondent. And the girls thought I weren't interested in them, which is quite ironic considering they're wearing Japanese schoolgirl outfits.
Mr. Out.
So yeah, thanks Sam for being fucking shit.
So he's cocked blocked you, basically.
Yes, he has.
Oh, no.
That's pretty tasty, right
So
there.
you morally got someone Saturday night. Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, who's next?
I've got no goo because Geelong had the bye and we lost to the bye.
But your bandwagon got up.
But yeah, the Tigers.
No.
No. Hawthorn. Wrong bandwagon.
No. I'm like Mad Max.
No, you're fucking not. The Tiggy Train, I've removed the fucking tracks. I've destroyed the tracks. It cannot move. It's like one of those old trains in a museum that doesn't run on any tracks anymore.
We've established that it's one wagon now.
No. I've got 1 foot on both wagons, and I'm hoping that there's no pole coming up in between because I'll get cut in half.
I thought you were going to say something different.
So you're like Jean-Claude Van Damme, just it's going to end disaster in both ways.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're going to get the Taylor Hunt, Adam Goods treatment, Teach.
I do have some tears because I backed the Saints to beat the Bulldogs.
That was dumb.
Yeah, it didn't happen, so I'm sad for the Saints.
I think you had a better week than Roby, though. Penal, Morgs, or Dan?
I'll keep it snappy and just say goo, Liam Shields, what a gun. Tears, Segler's goal kicking. That was quite bad. If he can sort out his goal kicking, he'll be top ruckman in the AFL, but that was my tears from the week.
Morgs or Dan?
Well, like Teach, my team had the bye, so maybe a little bit of goo. Chris Brad.
And Brad was still last.
Yeah, Brad's last. Yeah, he's back from his back.
Oh, he's back, is he? I thought you were going to say that he got let off by the Tassie police. I thought that's what it was going to be.
Oh, there is that too. He got let off, so good for him.
No tears for North's number one fan?
No.
Morgs.
I've got some goo for our brave loss and a good performance by the Pies this week. And I think I was going to just...
You let me down, Colin, when I tipped you last week.
Can you shut up? You're not very good at tipping, and it's my turn to speak. I was going to give my goo once again to DeGoey. It seems like everyone got on board this week, but overall, I think there is enough.
Except the North supporters.
Well, they're not going to get on board because they are jealous minnows.
Not Dan, of course, the other ones.
No, there are certain minnow posters who can't see what is clearly in front of their eyes. That's okay.
Are you like a hipster of goo, and now that everyone is kind of
It's so mainstream now.
Recognizing DeGoey, you've jumped off the DeGoey bandwagon?
People wouldn't goo last year.
Can I just finish my goo? Like, fuck.
Okay.
Just team goo for our brave loss.
Okay, no tears for Jessie White.
No thanks.
I just had some last minute tears, and this is for Morgs, for claiming a hashtag for the last 6 months or so that she didn't even coin. It was all Short's idea, and Morgs has been claiming it. She is the Belle Gibson of the Bay, and yeah, explain yourself.
I finally got caught. Nobody said anything for 6 months.
Nobody cared until you started talking up your quill.
It had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it did.
The quill is standalone. The fact that Collingwood now use the hashtag, or they now use that line.
Yes,
every
that's
time
what
they
it was.
post
You
an
started
article.
claiming it because Collingwood use it, but it was Short's idea.
Because
That's
I'm
what
the
caused
one
it.
that does use it.
Short's idea that you've claimed credit for, just like Collingwood. You were as bad as your club.
No, he wrote that on something that was I posted on Instagram. So really, it was on my post. It's mine.
No, that's not how it works, James Heard.
It's mine. I'm claiming it. I'm the one that got it to where it is.
That's naive and idiotic.
Claiming copyright.
There is one reason why it's number one on the trending hashtags, and it's not because of any of you cunts.
Morgs has taken full responsibility, but I don't think she has the right to.
Let's stay on Freo Collingwood, okay? And yeah, Collingwood, they were pretty good. De Goey was quite gooey. Jessie White was affably
brave.
shit.
Genuinely brave.
Comedically shit.
Yes, comedically shit. What else have we got out of that game? It was a good game of football. Like, Thursday nights so far have been the exact opposite of the Friday nights that have had Carlton on most of the year. Like, all the Thursday games have been pretty good, and this was the best of them.
I have been.
Yeah, it was really good.
Tactically, Collingwood were pretty much perfect.
Effort-wise, too.
Does this mean that Nathan Buckley can actually coach pretty well?
Oh, I think it's a bit early for that. Like, you know, he did have Seedsman and De Goey playing for him. You know,
You need to get off that Seedsman bandwagon because that thing's crashing faster than the Richmond train.
the Richmond train is not crashing because it's not going.
If Teacher's still on it, it is.
It's not moving. There is no fucking steam in the engine.
Shut up. I'm putting my foot down. The Seedsman bandwagon needs to end. You're ruining him. You're all breaking him. He needs to go and play a couple of games in the VFL and get his shit together because
in
he
favour
has
of
been
kicking
appalling.
Morgs off this vlog card. Red vesting Morgs, raise your hand.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
have cameras, but my hand's in the air.
I've got two.
I don't believe
two arms
Penal
in the air.
doesn't.
Like it just
Penal,
don't
no one
care.
believes you don't have your hands on it.
I've got 3 hands in the air.
Yeah, I only need one hand in the air. Yeah, the other one can be wherever the hell I want it, so don't judge me.
You don't need to put your hands on it because Teachers are on yours, Penal. Don't worry about it.
Penal's on the other side of the fucking country.
He'll find
There's
a
still
way.
Skype webcams.
We've already
But if he
discussed Sam
wasn't-
Gilbert, so we know it's possible. Let's just stay on that game because we are getting a little bit off track.
It was a very good game of football, and I hate the Brave loss. Like, as much as I I hate the Brave
You
loss.
said brave.
I hate
You
that.
said
Nah,
brave.
you're brave. You're
You
so
hate
brave.
yourself.
No, I deliberately
Very
said
brave.
I said brave because it's
Incredibly brave.
Yeah,
This
incredible.
loss will
But
be
they were.
remembered
No,
for the rest of the year.
I hate celebrating mediocrity. That's bulldog
This loss
shit.
will be
That's
remembered more
shit.
than your victory.
I don't. It is. It's bulldog shit. It's like, oh, like we tried real hard. Like, no, fucking win, you idiot.
Yeah.
Is that indicative of how far your club has fallen that you're now celebrating losses?
That's the standards,
No.
the expectations.
No,
they've set
that's
for
what I'm
FIGJAM.
saying. Shut up. We're not celebrating the loss. We're going to take lessons
You
from
fucking
that
spent 5
Why
minutes
don't you
celebrating
try
the loss at the
something
start
on
of the
the ground?
because I can't go over the same person every week. It's boring.
Why not? Penal does.
Teach goes over Penal every week.
I'm pretty sure if you like
Penal.
play back like all of my vlogcast contributions over the past
It all
18
amounts to
months,
Pritis,
like,
Segler, or Shields.
most of them will sound the same.
Originality.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're a broken fucking record.
Let's get back on track again because we are slipping.
What about Pavlich?
But-
Was a bit shit, to be
Oh,
honest.
3 weeks in a row of no goals.
Concerning Pavlich.
On the
Oh,
couch, had an
yeah.
interesting stat that Freo have gone from 5th highest scoring in the competition to 16th in the last 5 weeks, and that has coincided with Pavlich's obviously 3 goalless weeks, so they're heavily reliant on him. And if it weren't for Walters kicking some brilliant goals in that game, they might have lost. Like, he kicked 3 absolute rippers.
It
And
snips.
two, like in like red time. Like, fuck that.
Crimson
So
Tide.
frustrating.
Very, very brave.
Lost a lot of respect for Walters. He's a dirty diving cunt. He's basically Lindsay Thomas in a Fremantle jumper.
Well, why don't you just call him Suarez or something for the sake of it?
I was going to say, but what Fifey was talking about is snips of St Kilda in 2010 is like the key forward, Riewoldt, Rewalt, Pavlich.
Rewalt was better than Pavlich is now by a long way, though.
Yeah, but still, just for comparison, but still, the small forward doing a lot of the scoring. Walters, Milne.
Milne was a better small forward.
Milne's Ballantyne, because Ballantyne's the one who fucks up in finals.
I don't reckon they can win the grand final without Pavlich in absolute peak form.
No, you can't win a flag without a dominant key forward. You'd have to go back to.
You can't win a flag with Ross
Yeah,
Lyon as
the
coach.
only one that got away with it was West Coast.
And they had like one of the greatest midfields you'll ever see put together.
Yeah, Judd, Cousins, Kerr, Fletcher, all that. And Fremantle's not as good as them.
No.
I don't think Fremantle will win a final on current form. Like, I can see them dropping in a couple
Brave
games.
Collingwood could.
But what if Fremantle changed their stops and wear different boots? Did anyone hear about this?
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
they won't wear the screw-ins.
Ross Lyon cracked it at his team because they're slipping over because apparently they refuse to wear screw-ins when it's wet.
This is the second time he's brought it up in a few weeks. The first time he didn't melt as much, but this time, because it was the second time it's been made public about them not wearing the screw-ins and how often he's told them. And some of them just refuse because it's too hard on their feet, apparently.
They would have got stares. They would have glared at them.
He mentioned one person by name because they're the only person that listened and wore screw-ins. I don't know who they were because I don't care about Fremantle, but they're pretty boring.
Would he have walked up to him with his mincy gay walk?
Well, if he walked up to him like that, I don't think they'd have done a single thing he said because that is the least intimidating coach approach I could think of. Like, you got Clarko coming at you like he's going to belt you like you're some Port fan pissing him off.
Every step he gets closer, he just gets smaller and smaller.
Anything else on Freo Collingwood?
Collingwood really brave. So brave.
Fuck off, Dan.
Incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Bravest team ever.
Bravest loss of the year.
You guys are fucking flogs.
They will build statues and monuments in honour of this team and how brave they were.
We were predicted to be terrible. Can't we just go, all right, we weren't as bad as everyone
Well,
expected?
maybe if you hadn't have said yes, they were brave, and then 5 minutes later said brave.
was a
shit
joke,
word,
you
no one would be
dickhead.
jumping on it.
It was a joke.
But you
I
were
can't-
brave.
Fuck off, Dan.
I can't remember who asked the question about Buckley, but I am prepared to give Buckley some credit now. He has worked out better than Mick Malthouse at Carlton. That's it. That's all the credit I'm going to give him.
So it's taken you to now to say that. Like, Buckley had a 5-0 record against
Uh,
Malthouse.
Well,
So now-
Malthouse has won one final. Buckley has won 0.
No, Buckley's won one. He won a semi in his very
Oh.
first year.
Malthouse
Oh,
was
okay.
burdened by coaching Carlton as well.
Anyway, let's move on to, the Tiggy train's not leaving the station. It's not going anywhere. We're just keeping it, waiting. It's going to just be locked up until it's time to celebrate. But geez, that was a nice win.
How'd you pull that off?
Oh, fucking, I have no idea. Like, no, honestly, it helps when you're not very good in the first half and you can do everything better. Like, that does
You
help.
surprised the absolute shit out of
Surprised the absolute shit out of everyone. I thought they were still a chance even at half time, but that's the stupid optimist in me. I didn't actually think we would.
How do you have that stupid optimism?
Because as a Richmond supporter, if you don't, your spirit will break.
I don't understand it hasn't already. Like, I couldn't do it. Props to you.
Well, that's the reason. If your spirit has broken, you've given up by now and you've jumped off. Like, literally, there's 70,000 of us whose spirits aren't broken. We're a resilient bunch. But yeah, that was nice.
It was a lovely day. A lovely day.
All year of little faith, I'm pretty sure I was the only one who was confident that Richmond could pull this off. And lo and behold, they proved me right. Yes, again.
It was nice to see Cochin go fucking beast mode in that third quarter.
Oh, didn't he just tear it apart?
He was just in everything. He just went into the pack where there's 4 guys fighting over it, and out he comes. That's when he's at his best. It wasn't the crab stuff that, has shitted me probably 6 or 7 weeks ago, whenever it was. Probably 10 weeks ago now, when I was mentioning it before. He was just in contested ball out.
Did his hair move, though?
No, that's the thing. He went in there.
No,
and
no,
it was
no.
just fucking. It's like out of a Marvel movie. Captain America's hair doesn't move either.
One does not
Is that
move
right up there
Trent
with-
Cotchin's hair.
It is up there with Dylan Shield. That thing doesn't move either. Oh, beautiful.
Or maybe it just didn't move because there was no wind and that's why Cochin played well. 'Cause
Very cool. It was nice to roll them and do their celebrations on Friday Night Football, and they got all the players out there, and it was funny to see Goods go full Suze in that game.
Break an arm.
Guy who slides into people with his knees goes full finger point at Rance because his knee brushed Buddy's ass. That was just Rance's way of saying
What
help.
was he doing with Taylor Hunt's junk?
And he went the nut grab.
I'm going to give him a pass on this one. When you speed it up, it doesn't look that bad.
Nutbush city limits.
But still, you just don't go underneath and try grabbing a guy there or doing whatever
Yeah,
the
what-
hell.
what are your
Yeah,
hands
yeah,
doing
But he
there?
was a flog all night. He was being an idiot all night.
It's funny because on the weekend where Sam Mitchell endears himself to the football community, you've got Adam Goods proving the Hawthorn supporters right and vindicating their booing of him by proving just how much of a flog he is on field.
I think a lot of the other things he did in that game were worse than that.
Yeah, didn't he
I
do
like-
some diving or
the
some sliding
pointing and the
things?
diving.
Pointing and the diving, a few other things where he was just acting like a dick. I thought that was worse personally than the actual nut thing, which actually came about because he was carrying on in the first place. But yeah,
I liked one of the photos on Bay 13. Someone put a
I
squirrel's
think
head.
that was Iggy Pop's t-shirt. I think.
Yeah, the squirrel's head on goods, going the grip.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then, well, Buddy Franklin with the fucking bump. Surprised he only got a week.
I
Yeah.
think the issue is he went to pick up the ball, then
Yeah, he
went for
runs
the
over
bump.
the ball. He runs over it.
He
If
went
he
past
naturally
the ball.
picked the ball up, it would have been fine, and he still probably would have bumped him, but it would have been in a natural motion.
Yeah, if he picked it up, it wouldn't have been an issue. It would have been bad luck. Edwards probably wouldn't even get a free kick.
It's
What happened to
intimidation
Tippett?
for this- That should have been more than 1 week.
Well, I think Tippett got off on the spud clause that it's fucking Kurt Tippett. No one can tell if he actually meant to hit him in the face or he's just fucking unco.
Yeah,
He got
No,
off.
he got a week. He got a week.
Otherwise-
2 down to 1. Same as
he got a
Buddy.
week,
Oh,
but
he
it
got
should
a
have been
week.
more.
Okay.
Otherwise known as the Jared Waite rule.
Yeah.
I mean, how much did Lewis get for his punch?
3 down to 2, but Lewis lines him up and you can tell, whereas Tippett's spudly, so you kind of like, well, yeah, he probably meant to hit him, but it is Kurt Tippett, you know. He probably meant to fucking punch the ball with his left hand instead of his right, but he's just got no idea.
He actually meant to iron the guy out.
I think he did, but because it's Tippett, you can't say for sure. I
Right.
think that's the only reason he got off.
I think there's a bit of Travis Cloak in Kurt with the, oh, I did not mean to hit you.
I reckon
Except
Travis
one of them's a good forward. And the other's
On the same
Moving
kind
on.
of money, too.
Travis Cloak, even though he can't count to 5, is still smarter than Kurt Tippett. That's how fucking dumb Kurt Tippett is.
and he has a premiership.
Anything else on that game? It was good. Revolt was fantastic. No junk time goals.
Oh, Collingwood brave. Only you guys got the win, so even braver. So well done.
There were 2 fucking moments in this game which were like, okay, Richmond, yeah, they've got it now. It's the Cochin goal where he's like on his fucking...
We were 30 points down at that point, though. That was a starter.
Yeah, but that was the
Yeah.
point I knew that I got my tip right and that Richmond would get home. And
It's
then
not
there was
about
the...
you, Penal.
And then there was the marriage goal in the
That was
last quarter, which was just like so nonchalant, and you're like, well, Sydney, they're a wrap.
If you take 1 minute of play out of the third quarter, they kick 1 goal in the second half.
Yeah,
they kicked 2 in
exactly.
30 seconds, basically.
And wasn't one of those goals really dodgy or something based on the interchange?
No, he
rule or
kicked that out on
something?
the full by a fucking mile. It was a Casbolt kick. That was lucky, because if he had a kick that might have actually broken us before our comeback really started.
Yeah, so what was with that?
They got it wrong.
Because they said it was to do with the
The AFL
concussion
has said they mucked
and that
up on that.
seemed wrong at the time, and I'm glad they've come out and said it was wrong, because you should be allowed to, if you've checked him out, he's good to come back on, just send him on. Don't wait for the full...
The AFL acknowledged it was wrong because the interchange steward isn't supposed to let him back on the ground. It's his job to make sure that Richmond know when the 20 minutes is up. Like, that guy's, he's only got 2 jobs and that's one of them, and he didn't do it. Like, that makes it even worse, I think. But yeah, we'll move on to Hawthorn smacking Essendon.
Also known as the Sam Mitchell Australian of the Year nomination game.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Tells Essendon to go and get fucked.
I thought that when Lethality put that up, otherwise known as Hodgepodge, it was like arsehole of the year.
No,
But yeah, I don't think Sam Mitchell's that much of an arsehole.
that was
But,
seriously
I
fantastic.
mean, he's a bit of a hero for doing
He's
that.
a fucking legend for doing that. I think we open up this year's inductions into the Bay 13 Hall of Fame, and we begin with Sam Mitchell based on that. Sam Mitchell has to go in services to trolling, the first and only person to really publicly troll Essendon over the drug saga.
It was great that you didn't just see the action, you could actually lip read him say
Jab,
jab.
jab,
It was
yeah.
so good.
It's a massive fuck
The
you to
consensus
Essendon.
of the feedback being that Mitchell should have apologised was a bit surprising. I mean, he had nothing to apologise for. I mean,
Well,
what
what
happened
what
to
happened
start
at
saying
Essendon
that?
happened at
Because
Essendon.
no one can say he should have apologised after Adam Goods allowed to act like a clown a few weeks ago.
The usual fucking politically correct social justice warrior brigade was out in force, unsurprisingly, saying, oh, Mitchell, what a dog.
I thought that was just the Essendon supporters wishing death on him.
Yeah, well,
I've seen
at least,
Essence.
at least on Big Footy, most of the reaction from opposition supporters was, go Mitchell, you fucking legend.
Yeah.
You know, I was happy to see that.
The best part about it was Hurd's meltdown presser with the complete lack of self-awareness in everything he said.
oh, Jesus.
What a
It's a
dick.
Naive and
conspiracy.
idiotic
It's a
media
reminder.
propaganda. Like, he has no self-awareness. He's that full of himself. He's that much of a narcissist.
He is the most unaccountable, self-absorbed human being associated with our game.
He's the opposite of full responsibility.
I'll tell you what, if he had a brain in his head, he would have said, oh, yeah, you know, there's lots of shit that goes down on the footy field, and we didn't pay any attention to it, and, let's just move on.
Yeah.
Any other coach would have been, what happens on the field stays on the field. Wouldn't have given it any fuel to that fire.
That was how the Essendon players basically seemed to do it. Like, Cale Hooker's grinning.
Because it was fucking funny, like...
Yeah, but James Hurd's probably in the box, just gets on the phone to Tanya. Tanya, can you see this? Get some notes. Take some notes. Take note of this. This is what I'm going to say. Propaganda, naive, idiotic. Take these notes. I'm going to read them in a presser.
Yeah. It's the best sledge probably for really quite a while in, I'll say, any sport, really. I mean, it's straight, it's to the point, it's true. And it made Essendon supporters claim, it's equivalent to racism or sexism.
Oh, who was that
so
fuckwit who went on about being like racism?
I've seen a lot of them. I mean, I was just searching around various forums. I reckon there's one person on Big Footy, Twitter, Reddit, all that shit. They've gone full fucking...
It was Spartan WA, wasn't it? Melty Marty?
Melty Marty, we'll come to Melty Marty.
Yeah, but it also did provoke some quite funny tweets from the opposite side. People leaping in defence of Sam Mitchell. The standby Sam Mitchell was trending on Twitter, and there are a few brilliant tweets, like the one who said, I hope the AFL doesn't take action. He'd be the only player suspended because of the Essendon drug saga, which I thought was brilliant.
Titus really had a funny one. He said, unfortunately, we don't know what type of drug Sam Mitchell was pretending to inject.
Yes, that was very good. But yes, it was hilarious, the aftermath of that, and all the melts, and just the fact that, Hurd's thrown the toys out of the pram. There's a lot of silence from the Essendon players, but even Nathan Buckley managed to fucking throw a whack in.
What did he say?
On AFL 360 tonight, his regular Monday spot, Robbo, and Waitley asked, what do you guys think of the Sam Mitchell sledge? And Buckley basically said he didn't think there was anything wrong with it because the sledge was based in facts.
Yeah, it did happen. I mean,
well, that's the thing. It happened. Ejections, regardless of whatever, did happen.
I think Essendon are massive hypocrites because they've been telling us all along that you can have banter but not slander, and I think this sledge was banter.
Great banter.
That's the funny thing. Herd screaming propaganda, and then Nathan Buckley comes out and actually puts a bit of emphasis on facts when he says this was based in facts. And he also put a little jibe in there about how Herd saying he hates Hawthorn more than anyone. And we know Buckley's a good coach, obviously, because he did well against Freo. He wouldn't motivate his team that way. He'd go with something positive, whereas Herd appears to be all negative. It's all Herd against the world.
It's all about Herd, and it has been for the last 5 years.
They're trying to take out us against their mentality, but they're doing it in a negative way. Buckley once again proving he's better than Herd.
So just back to the game, Clarko actually used that sledge by Herd that he hates Hawthorn more than any other side.
No wonder Mitchell was taunting over drugs.
Oh, well, he wound up the Hawks, and they were all
really wind them up, like, he doesn't like us. Like, gives a fuck.
It's a pretty good motivating factor. It's like the opposition coach hates you more than anything, and he happens to be a massive cunt. Would you like to upset him some more? Doesn't that sound like a good thing?
Yeah, would you like to upset James Hurd?
Wouldn't it be funny? You can have some fun and you can piss them off. You could tell by the way Hawthorn were playing in that last quarter. They were fucking about like Hollywood football, as we had mentioned earlier when they lost a game to Essendon.
Bring a wheelbarrow of sand in. A line in the sand game. That was much more motivating. James doesn't like us, guys.
Look at the result. Hawthorn gave...
Hang on. One of them is
we didn't need to go there.
And the other one a
we
drug
just
addict.
let the football do the talking. And like, Essendon, your side is shit. You can't keep up with us. And like, we ran them off the park in the second half.
We're going to let fucking Segler take 3 shots on goal for the game and still roll you by 40 points.
We're going to let him kick into the man on the mark and make Penal sit at home on the couch and cry over it.
He was fucking shit, Penal. When he fucked up, I laughed
great,
so much.
But he had a great game that was tarnished by the goal kicking.
He got beaten by Sean McKernan.
No,
I'll just say
fucking dominated.
He did.
I can see now why we got rid of him.
Yeah. I will say that Essendon look cooked. I mean, their players are fucking old ass. I mean,
how was that team they put in?
Cooney's, pretty much on one league.
Wilt.
Chapman's an old fart. Gwilt is shit.
Kavanagh might be the worst first-round pick in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Malcolm looks like a twat and plays like one.
Looks like one of them female bodybuilders.
Cookie knows who's cooked.
Do we have anything else on that game? Look, it was funny to watch them lose. It was funny to watch Mitchell's sledge. It was everything about it. It's disappointing that the AFL might crack down on anyone who does it in future, but I think we've got the best mileage we could out of that.
It won't be the last time the players leave Essendon players.
I think if the AFL were to crack down on it, we'd just see the fans coming after it like with Adam Goods.
Yeah, this is like the Adam Goods rule, right? Everyone said, don't boo Goods, and then everyone started booing Goods. And now the AFL have said it would be be disappointing if someone repeats this. I think we're going to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be smarter than to say something like that, knowing what happened after the goods.
I would like to hear jab, jab, jab chants next week.
I will endeavour to provide that.
That's if enough St Kilda fans turn up, because I've been hearing over the last couple of days that only 7,000 of you turned up, Cookie. It's your own home game.
Oh, because you weren't there, Cookie.
Yeah, one of the members was busy.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, it's
Now provides
I
team
think
into
we
boys and one.
could do a variant on the classic Sydney take it up the arse doodah doodah and go Essendon take jabs in the arm doodah doodah.
That's very good, and Aaron Riley cannot complain about that, so that's even
I
better.
could just busk
Because
in
it's
front
based on facts.
of. Yeah, but I could just busk in front of Etihad Stadium just singing drug-related songs. That could work.
Yeah, you might get punched in the face.
Yeah. Did you see some of the tweets about Mitchell? There are some very angry, deranged people.
They're all fucking keyboard warriors. They're not
only
going to
saw
say
the
anything
funny
to your
ones.
face. They're just going to go home and say, fuck that guy. I didn't see it with my own eyes, but I heard about it from a friend that someone was trolling Essendon with songs. If I had been there, which I was, but I'm not going to say because I'm weak as piss and don't want anyone to know, then I would have punched that guy in the head.
Let's move on to the Crows snatched a win off Brisbane. They waited till the last quarter. You know, Phil Walsh, how do we find Phil Walsh's talk during the week about masterpieces and Van Gogh?
Was he
Twerking his nipples at times.
was he tweaking his nipples?
I don't
at the
know,
time?
but he was talking about masterpieces and Van Gogh when really their game came out looking more like something Suze would make. It wasn't exactly a masterpiece, more like a Suze avatar.
Van Gogh cut his ear off, didn't he?
Yeah, because he was crazy, a bit like Phil Walsh.
It's like,
Oh, right.
They were very abstract, Adelaide.
It's funny because the Clash Guernsey looks a bit like that too. But it was a bizarro game. It was pretty shitty standard. Eddie waited till the end to kick some goals. Tex waited till the end to kick some goals. They kicked poorly. Brisbane just aren't very good. No key forwards hurts you.
Nah, Brisbane is shit.
It's been shit,
Take
but they
note,
do have
Fremantle.
17
But-
wins.
And do you know who else they want to add to their team? This fucking amazes me. I read this week, and this is funny on a bunch of levels. Leuenberger looks like leaving as a free agent because Martin's there and he's not like in the forward role.
Who's going to take
He's
him?
a pretty good ruckman.
Essendon.
Oh.
Oh, Essendon will, yeah, good point.
Plenty of people are taking him.
Yeah, he's a good ruckman.
You would take Leuenberger. Look at all your ruckmen. They're all injured and all it's potatoes.
Oh, well, they all snap in half. They're all made of fucking chalk.
Hawthorne could do with him. They've only got Segler.
we wouldn't take him. Segler's clearly a better key forward.
Oh,
Useless.
Jesus.
Leuenberger's shit.
More fucking wank.
But they're concerned, I read this in Herald Sun, so take it with a grain of salt, but their compensation might get lessened because they are after, believe this or not, considering with all their midfielders and that there are probably some key position players available, they are looking at Matt Suckling. So they want to bring in Matt
Take it.
Suckling to shore up that midfield of theirs, you know. I guess it would give them drive considering Lewis Taylor is basically a crab like Rockcliffe as it turns out. But, you know,
Why would you leave Hawthorn to go to fucking Brisbane?
Money.
Yeah, I don't know why you would ever leave anywhere to
Theme
go to
parks,
Brisbane.
big pineapple.
Brian the Lion.
Family. They should get Lockie Henderson back.
He has no pride in the Power Rangers jumper, so he's going for the.
Nor do any of the Hawks, because someone else had a crack at the Power Ranger jumper this week, I noticed. Can't remember who it was.
Jordan Lewis said he was glad that he was suspended for one of those games so he didn't have to wear it.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. One of your own players says the Power Rangers jumper is fucking shit.
There wasn't the only one. There was two. Jordan Lewis and someone else. Oh, Matt Spanger was on AFL 360 last week, and his doomsday scenario was the property steward bought the Power Ranger jumpers to the Essendon game.
He doesn't need to worry about that because he's not playing AFL.
Because he's injured, you fucking injury trolling.
He's not injured. I watched him play
Got
on
injured,
Saturday,
yeah.
and
Yeah, and he
I
got
watched him
injured.
get. I watched him
So
get
that's-
injured. He
that's
fell on
why
his
he's not
ass.
playing.
He got an ass injury at Hawthorn. It was very amusing.
That's not very nice. That would be like laughing at a goal umpire getting injured, okay?
Look, if Jesus,
In
if
5
Jesus-
years, never seen that.
if Jesus says that the Power Rangers jumper is shit, it's shit.
It is.
Is this like one of those blue and black versus white and gold thing where everyone else kind of sees an ugly thing and I just see something, a work of art, as Phil Walsh would call it?
Yeah, basically. It's a Phil Walsh masterpiece, according to you, whereas most of us see the Sue's avatar that it is. Let's go back, though, to the Crows game. Anything else on the Crows, Brian's? Brian's pretty shit. Crows are concerning in the fact that they can't put away any of these bottom teams like Brisbane or Carlton convincingly.
Well, they're doing it better than Port.
Well, they are, but, well, if that's the bar you're setting.
That's all they have to cling to. It's all right. They're the best side in South Australia. That's it.
That's all that matters to them.
But then it's funny because that is all that matters for the most part. That'll be troll material for the entire summer. Even if Dangerfield goes home.
Has
Neither of,
Clayton signed yet?
so who cares?
Maybe at Geelong. Although I read in the darndest things thread he might be going to Essendon, but that's the story.
I don't think he likes spongy floors. He's not going there.
Let's move on. Dogs did it ugly against the Saints in front of that, miserable crowd. It was close. Wasn't exactly great standard.
Ah, fucking Saners, Cookie.
Didn't watch the
Jesus. They busted my cake hole.
Right.
I expected the Saners to win, but they didn't.
Oh yeah, I did tip St Kilda. Oh shit! I think I only got one for the weekend. Oh dear.
Well, where's Cookie gone?
Are we keeping you from something, Cookie?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Are you cooking something, Cookie?
No,
I think Cookie is just upset because he was listening to my comments about Segler and he was shaking his head, and then all the girls around him just thought he wasn't interested in them, so he was very disappointed with me for that.
Crying. But yeah, shit game by us. I mean, bad kicking, bad football. Fucking Bulldogs essentially flooded the midfield to stop us playing our game.
I would also like to congratulate the new Jack Watts.
Who's that?
Easton Wood.
Oh!
Rounds 18 to 13, king of intercept marks.
Intercept marks, yes.
Yeah, but Easton Wood is actually a good player and he should be All-Australian this year based on form, whereas Watts was just always shit. He just happened to have a few weeks and got good stats.
That's right.
Maybe it's wise to man him up next time because he's the reason why the Bulldogs won. Because we did dominate the inside 50 count and
I thought Sam Gilbert was the reason the Doggies
that
won.
too. He's fucking useless.
Isn't he just?
Adam Schneider, Sam Gilbert. These senior players at St Kilda are still trolling you, aren't they?
Concerning elderly.
All Gilbert can do is take photos of other people's cocks.
Even then, they'll probably find a way to fuck it up.
Anything else out of that game? Look,
Boring.
Looks low scoring from what I can see.
Package didn't play that well, and neither did Bontempelli or Boyd.
So
There
did
was a lot of
anybody
the,
play well in this game? Literally sounds like a fight between retards. Like.
No, the reason why the Bulldogs are a good side this year is
They're not.
because... No, they are. They're better than Collingwood. They're a very good side this year. And the reason why
Can you
is
tell me
not
where they are on the actual ladder?
The fucking power rankings is the actual ladder, alright?
The power rankings are dead. The power rankings are dead.
no,
Go,
so
go,
they're
power
not
ranking.
dead. They're alive in our hearts.
The Bulldogs are a better team than Collingwood, Fremantle and Sydney, and it's not because of the guys like Bontempelli and Stringer. It's because of the improvement in the guys like Picken. 2 years ago, everyone thought Liam Picken was a fucking spud. He's like not quite elite, but he's become a very good player this year. Same for Jason Johannesson and guys like that. That's why the Bulldogs are... No, he's good.
Can't
He's
kick.
good this year. He's better than Suckling.
He's a Jasper Pittard. Hi, IMM. Nice impassioned defence.
Well, the Bulldogs can gear up for another prelim appearance.
Yeah, they will probably make a prelim this year because they...
Oh, listen to that.
Improvement in the guys like Johannesson, Picken, and those players,
Anything on the
players
line, they will not
15
make
to
the
22 on the list.
Penal, what did you say earlier about key forwards in finals?
They've got Tom Boyd.
No,
Like,
no,
he's
it's
not-
only when it
he's-
suits him. Cookie.
Wow, he barely got a pass mark against the Bryans. Consensus was he didn't.
He's better than fucking Pavlich and Jesse White.
Oh, jeez.
Not according to any form of stat ever.
Well, Collingwood have can't count cloak, so Jesse White doesn't matter.
Lucky he's not a mathematician. He's a footballer. Move on.
Anyway, just on that, Bob Murphy had 25 possessions, 100% efficiency, 20 kicks amongst that. He's having a great year. Contrast that to possibly the worst performance from a Seagull mid ever, Dyson Heppel for Essendon.
Oh,
He
what
did
a
not have an
spud.
effective kick. Not an effective kick playing outside football against Hawthorn. Like, fucking, I'm sure even Prittis hit targets this weekend and he wasn't even playing.
Did he play a whole game, Heppel? Like,
Yeah, he played full game.
Wasn't injured, wasn't subbed, just played
No.
and played shit.
But yeah, anything else on the Dog Saints before we move on?
Umpires were shit.
thanks, Plugger.
Oh,
what's new?
well, how fucking surprised are we?
Speaking of Plugger, nice shout out to Plugger. He did blame the umpires and Sam Gilbert and dog supporters on the main board for ruining his night. But he did get a bit melty over the fact that Tom Boyd gets the excuse of only being 19 for being shit. So I'm just going to say it right now, Plugger. McCartan's a shit truck too. So it doesn't matter that he's 18. Nah, doesn't matter how old they are. If they're a shit truck, they're a shit truck. And McCartan's a shit truck based on Plugger logic. So yeah.
Hashtag
Okay.
Plugger logic. Can I claim that? I've said it first.
Yes, you can claim that. Plugger logic. Winning free kick counts don't matter. Because the neutrals on the main board said so. Plugger logic.
I'm literally going to stalk him everywhere
it-
and
it's like
hashtag that
fucking-
after every post.
It's like hodgepodge logic. No one looks smart out of it.
No, it's just a fucking train wreck.
And the last game that we haven't discussed around was Gold Coast versus Carlton, and I will save us the trouble. It was the worst game of the year. It was a game without contested footballs, uncontested game with skill errors everywhere.
I can only speak a little bit about this because I only watched a little bit of it, but can someone explain the Andreas Everett ET finger goal celebration?
What's going on with his fucking haircut?
Instead of the conventional high five to your teammate after a goal, Everett sticks out his index finger.
It's the bruise-free celebration. It's typically Carlton.
Yeah, you don't want to risk having your hand broken by any physical contact with anyone.
Basically.
Well, the good thing about if you're driving around, you listen to it on the radio and you don't see how shit it actually is.
Yeah, well, it was awful. Let's just talk about cocaine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And K Hunt has sold the Cooksen down the river.
Isn't he just? He's dumped him in it.
What a snitch.
He's got himself out of trouble by throwing a few more in.
He's
And,
thrown them all under the
they
bus.
brushed the last review under the carpet of the culture, and yeah, now they're in the
bunch
shit
of
This might
again.
bring them together, though.
Yeah.
This might bring them all to the God Squad side. They'll repent.
The
They'll
God
all
Squad.
repent their sins and they'll come together.
They need to take counsel with the High Sparrow, I think.
The High Sparrow, do the walk of shame.
Is there got to be that chick behind going
Shame.
shame all the time?
Shame,
Shame.
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 Ding, ding,
Shame.
ding, ding, ding.
Walking down the Gold Coast Strip naked. Shame.
Meter maid behind him going,
Shame.
shame, shame,
What if the
shame.
meter maids were a kappa?
It's still funny. Shame. Shame. Shame.
It'd be like, shame, shame.
Shame.
Hey,
You got-
shame. Look at me,
you got any
shame.
more? You got any more? Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Has anyone got names as to who K Hunt ratted out on?
I think we could guess a few of them. I would be very surprised if, considering K Hunt was the dealer and Harley Bennell lived with him for quite some time, that Harley Bennell, and considering his drinking things and the Brownlow with punch on with Robbo, I'd be very surprised Harley
What
Bennell's
if
not
one of
one.
those names is Ablett Jr.?
No.
It's
No,
not. He's
God
part of the
Squad.
God Squad with David
He
Swallow.
said-
He's at
Father
Hillsong while
like
the
son.
other ones are.
He did say that there were a couple of teammates that weren't involved, so that probably gives Gablet absolution. Although his dad
That's probably the dealer.
was pretty handy on the snort.
Put it
So-
this way, I would be very surprised if Ablett wasn't one of them. He strikes me as that sort of,
Closeted religious person.
I'm going to be very straight
God's-
with you to your
God's-
face, but then behind your back, I'm going to get on the...
Do as I say, not as I do.
Very herd-esque.
Baking soda.
So he'd be like Daniel Kerr, but he'd be better at covering it up.
Daniel
Yeah,
Kerr
yeah.
still
But
made it
evidently
to play
not if
games.
fucking he's been ratted out.
Yeah, well, Daniel Kerr clearly still in the gear, but he just laughs about it.
He just doesn't care.
He don't give a
He's
fuck.
gone to the James Hurd school of taking responsibility for your own actions.
Well, no, because James Hurd, this is the thing, it's mental gymnastics with Hurd. I think he genuinely believes he's done nothing wrong, even though he
He's
has.
he's convinced himself like Belle Gibson and didn't do it.
Yes, it's everybody else's fault. He's actually reached that point where he believes it's everyone else's fault. He's so caught up in it, he believes it, whereas Daniel Kerr is like, oh, I don't care. He's just zero fucks given, Daniel Kerr.
Surely there was someone to protect him and say, look, man, this is not a good idea.
Who, Ben Cousins?
Well, there's got to be someone that goes, you know what?
Chad Fletcher?
Not that shit. No, the interview thing, the drugs thing, he's going to do that. But someone turn around and go, you shouldn't be doing that, Goose.
Yeah, and he probably laughed at him and went, haha, I'll be alright.
Do you know how much they paid me? Drugs are on me tonight, boys.
Yeah. Do you know how much that'll buy us?
Gary, you want to
That'll
line
get us?
up the interview?
I told you about that friend of mine that saw Gary Ablett Senior dropped a bag of coke in a nightclub.
Yeah, you did. It was in last year's out. That was when we were talking about David Swallow, coincidentally, who, part of the God Squad, obviously, at the
Apparently
Suns.
David Swallow isn't part of the God Squad.
But what about his brother?
No, his brother is, but David Swallow just doesn't give a
Brother's
shit.
a Bible basher, I think.
His brother's Bible basher. I just assumed it was a family thing.
No, he didn't go to the cold religious school.
Oh, well, he's not coming to North then.
Yeah, he wouldn't
No.
fit in with the...
Divided family.
He's clearly been corrupted by the Gold Coast and that terrible, terrible culture of Coke and Christianity.
Indeed.
Need to get Dean Laidley up there to coach him. That'll straighten him out.
I said just get Bomber.
What's Scott Conversation's going to do?
Oh,
I mean, you might as well hire one of us.
Yeah, teach another coaching job for you. If you don't get the Carlton one, you can coach the Suns.
shit hot.
Your favourite Gary Ablett.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if the players arrive
That
late.
way you can
Teach him
defend him
fucking
24/7.
He'll whack on the Mankini and just start strutting his stuff on Surface Paradise.
We're taking training at Wet and Wild, boys. Let's go.
Look, it's concerning. They've really fucked Suns up, and this has happened overnight, and no one's had a clue. Like, they're shocked to be sitting there. Like, and unlike Hurd, they probably are shocked to be sitting there. They didn't realise that this shit was going on. They thought they'd set them up well. Who would have thought this would happen in the Gold Coast when Western Sydney's the place where there's fucking nothing else to do?
Yeah, but,
No, but no one's partying in Western
Yeah,
Sydney.
but at least there's a beach on the Gold Coast.
the drugs are coming from Western Sydney.
No, but isn't
Yeah.
that the problem with the Gold Coast? That, like, over there, the culture is all that anyway, whereas Western Sydney, the culture is like, I don't know, shooting people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did the NRL team get caught with a shitload of cocaine as well?
Yeah, they did. That was K Hunt's supplier. So it's everywhere up there.
And
so
the fucking soccer team folded, didn't they, or something because of...
yeah, like Fitzroy.
Yeah, they folded.
Oh, no. Royal.
Anything else on the Suns? Because whilst we're on cocaine, we can talk about Daniel Kerr, we can talk about Colin Sylvia. That's another example of Fremantle drug culture. Ross Lyon's boring culture, getting people on the drugs.
What's going on with Colin Sylvia now?
He's been busted for possession
Oh,
at Blackburn, cocaine possession.
Not football possession because he hasn't had any of them.
No.
Not football possession because he had none of those.
Not at Freo anyway, or Peel. It's too fat for that. But yeah, he's just fitting right back in, isn't he? Just comes home and trouble follows.
He's a train wreck. Oh, well.
But as someone said on the Bay, it's a positive because at least he's no longer kicking his girlfriend.
Well,
So,
that's
you know,
true.
drug possession's a step up from that for Colin. There's progress.
Hopefully he gets banged up and they just put him away for a while.
Anything else on any of those drug issues?
No.
All the talking points we have are on drugs as well. So the last one is Dank's been given a life ban and he's started posturing. It's very truth come out, good place, rhetoric. Really, does anyone give a fuck except that he's...
Well, does it make any difference whether he gets a ban or not? He's not going to work in professional sport in this country, at least, ever again.
No one's going to give him
No,
a
well,
job.
this applies
No.
worldwide. Anyone who signs up to WADA has to apply to this. So he could work in the NFL and that's about it.
No one's going to give him a job.
Why not? Carlton would.
Geelong did in 2007.
Shut up, faggot.
That's not very diverse of you.
No. I don't want to be diverse. I want to fuck him in the head.
I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to Erin Riley about you.
But yeah, he's been given a life ban. He's talking the same bullshit. He's sending threatening voicemails to Gillan McLaughlin and...
Just hurry up and come clean, Dank, so we can finish this fucking saga.
Yes, exactly. Like, show us the records so that we can slam you and Essendon the way we all want. But of course you won't. You'll go away. You'll talk a big game and then you'll blame circumstances or some shit. I had nothing else to say on it. There was probably some fresher trolls on Friday before Sam Mitchell got all the drugs trolls out of the way. And the Gold Coast Suns too. Anyone got anything on that?
No, that's it.
All right, Teach.
Yes.
It's that time again. Last time of the mid-season reviews. Grades.
Oh, okay. Who are we grading now?
We'll begin with Melbourne.
I'm going to give Melbourne a D. They seem to be coming, but they're up and down. So I think that...
A bit like a ski slope, wouldn't you say?
Yes, a little bit like a ski slope.
So sometimes they're downhill, sometimes it's cross country.
Yeah, exactly. And it's actually a good ski season, so they're probably going to have a good winter. They could improve for the rest of the year.
Next we'll go West Coast.
Oh, West Coast, got to give them an A.
Eh?
Yeah, they've been playing out of their skin, and they deserve to be where they are. And hard to see with their draw them dropping out of the top four. So
A lot of games at home.
yeah, well played by the West Coast. So A for them.
GWS.
So I'm going to give GWS a D. They started with a rush. Unfortunately, they've got some injuries that are going to make it hard for them to stay in the 8, and I don't think that they will. But if they do, they can improve their grade.
Okay. Port Puffers.
Oh, Puffers. Fucking Puffers. E.
Bull.
Haven't they tripped over their shoelaces? They couldn't beat an egg right now.
Probably deserved a D for deflated.
No. They're
Or a
failing.
P for pufferfish.
They're
P for
failing
puffer.
because if they don't
Over
get
out of
any
puffer.
better,
T for
they're
tarps.
they're not going to make finals.
Throw an R in there and we could have nearly spelt out Port.
When are we getting to the point where we're going to say they're not making finals? Are we not?
When it's mathematically impossible, when they have to give it up.
Didn't we
because they're
all
gonna
say
puff.
they're not?
They're going to puff right until the end.
No, but we
You
asked
just
this
know it.
question 2 weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure everyone said they're not going to make finals.
Yeah, that's true.
Did
I
you
think
see?
Cease was the only holdout, and then he changed his mind a week later when they lost to fucking Carlton. North, the pre-season premiership favourites, Teach. What do you give them?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to give them a D.
I'll give him an N for North.
They have not lived up to expectations. But yet, every now and again, they show that they actually can play. So, D, they can improve. They're not out of the race yet as far as finals are concerned, but for now, they're a D.
And finally, Geelong.
Geelong, F for fuck.
Well, that's not positive.
No, we're
F for fucking melt.
yeah, we're shit.
You know, I would have thought you could have given them an E for East Geelong, where they're going to relocate to.
Give him a C. They've been pretty
Throw 'em
good.
in
C
the
C for concerning.
C for concerning. But C's a little bit too high for them. But yeah, no, F's
F's about right, to
had
be
some
honest.
moments.
No,
They've had some
Their-
higher points. They
their
beat a top
captain
4
is
side in
playing like
Collingwood at
shit.
one stage.
F for off the scale, eh?
Ha 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 ha. We're fucked. We'll beat up on the bottom teams, but we'll get absolutely smacked by every team that's got a chance of making the 8.
Is this why you're now supporting Hawthorn?
This is all you need to know about Geelong. Take Reece Stanley out of their team. Reece Stanley, and they turn to shit. That's all.
Oh, don't break my heart. I mean,
They troll themselves so effectively with that.
Oh, well, that is a fantastic segue about Don't Break His Heart. We're going to go to the questions, and we've only got the 2, and we're going to begin with the first one. This comes from Kim Jong-un. He has a question for Teach. Teach, now that the Supreme Court has made gay marriage legal across in the US, when are you and Penal booking your flight tickets?
I'm not marrying that prick.
Hashtag tension.
Hashtag tension.
Penal, you going to respond to that?
My answer to that question is fuck off, Dan.
Came from Kim Jong-un.
The dear leader wants to know, man.
Dear leader.
Is this straight bat?
Oh,
Cannot
Mate.
confirm or deny. You sound like you don't know Jack.
Fucking sounds like a fucking gaping big closet.
no.
I didn't know where that was going then. Gaping big.
I-
Oh, Jesus.
I will not be traveling to America to marry Teach, as I'm already married to a fantastic young man. Not really. I'm
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
this is a troll, by the way.
No, we have no judgment on that whatsoever. And
Penal's saving himself for the egg.
I have a girlfriend too, so you can
So
get
you
fucked.
say, you fucking closet gay Hawthorn supporter.
We have our very own Brokeback Mountain unfolding right before our eyes.
It really is beautiful.
I won't quit you.
Let's.
Which one of you is Heath Ledger and the other guy?
Oh well, who's the pitcher and who's the catcher?
You're the catcher.
I'm not catching. No way.
Let's move on. Who wants to ask this one? This one came from Guyu Pups.
Are the Tuggers the new on-field version of North, and can they actually make the top 4?
Oh,
Yeah, we probably are the new on-field version of North, and can we make the top 4?
We'll have to win a final first.
can someone tell me where they...
No, you can make the top 4 without winning a final, technically.
Like Geelong did last year, am I right?
Yeah, but then you don't finish top 4. You can make the top, but not finish there. I think we can. It all depends. If we navigate this next 3 weeks, of which we should win all 3 games, we will be at 10 and 5, and I think that's top 4 striking distance, especially with the concerning Kohlers starting to struggle.
I don't
Any overrated pies.
think.
Oh yes, and those overrated pies, but they're not in there anyway.
I think
Fucking brave, Buck.
They're brave.
Fucking brave, Dan.
I reckon Richmond will make the 8.
Yeah, well, the question wasn't directed at you; it's directed at me.
So what did you say?
I don't think they can make the top 4.
They're gonna make the top 4 for teachers on the
Yes,
bandwagon.
top 4 confirmed. Plug a logic.
Hashtag plug a logic. Doesn't even matter if they make the top 4. It's windy, you're fucked.
Let's go to this week on the Bay. Before we go to Thread of the Week, Flog of the Week, I think we need a moment's silence for the power rankings, which sadly came to an end. Roby decided to rather sillily chase his losses. Lost 10k beans this week.
More our loss than his.
It is. And this novel of his better be fucking good to replace the void that the lack of power rankings is leaving.
The biggest loss will be felt by Chunky Chicken. Now he's literally going to have nothing to do with this time.
Well, he's got that 12% interest to make his days a little bit better.
He'll be counting his beans.
I'm
Counting
eagerly
back.
awaiting Roby's novel.
Will it be a prospectus of the power rankings, like power players?
No, it'll be the definitive novel on internet trolling, and Chunky Chicken will play a big role.
Forward by Chunky Chicken.
Penal, you had an idea as well before we move on.
Well, I would like to start a campaign to produce some T-shirts or other piece of memorabilia like coffee mugs or something interesting about power rankings. And I think it'd be really cool if like everyone had a T-shirt to say like, I lost 10,000 beans this week. How many did you lose? And that'd be the sort of thing like you'd walk up to a girl and she'd be like, wow, a follower of Roby's power rankings. I'm impressed. I'm going to take off all my clothes for you right now. At least that's how I imagine it would work. So, like,
Does it work for men too, Penal?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Teach.
I think if you had a shirt like that, Cooksen, they wouldn't have turned away from you.
Would have gotten some on Saturday night.
I think what the shirt should say is 12% interest ? Input error.
Why settle for 12% interest at a bank when you can gain 1,000% by betting or whatever, something like that?
Yeah, from the power rankings. And also, Gold Coast finished on top of the power rankings. They were the all-time top power ranking team. They finished on top, and I think St Kilda remained the number one favoured team by the umpires as well. So,
Eat shit, plugger.
yeah,
Power rankings are completely wrong.
Rankings have never been wrong.
that sounds like hashtag plugger logic. Cooksen to argue with such sense.
Can you stop stealing my hashtag?
Oh, well, you wouldn't want to be a hypocrite, would you, James Hurd?
Yeah. Who steals
James Hurd.
hashtags these days?
You've called me some pretty bad names this week, Fifo.
Well, just Stephen Milne and James Hurd.
Bell
Don't want-
Gibson.
Thread of the week. What do we got? I liked Podgy's Mitchell.
Yeah,
for Australian
Podgy's.
Year.
Yeah, Australian of the Year thread.
I think Les Norton's one was better because that had all the big trolling in it and all the
Yeah,
melts.
that's true.
agree
I
that-
liked Les's one.
Les's one
Yeah,
then.
give it to Sammy, you bloody beauty.
Honourable mention also to Jean-Claude Vazdefrans, whose thread about Flog standing up was pretty amusing.
Yes.
Darndest Springs thread also had some pretty interesting melts.
Darndest Things was a ripper, though a lot of the Darndest Things once again found their way into Les's thread. And on that note, Flog of the Week, look, it's a two-horse race. It really depends on if you want to give it to a bay flog, a la Soggy, or you want to go with the overall flog, which was Melty Marty Down Under on Twitter, who wanted to see Sam Mitchell put in hospital in a wheelchair and all sorts of ridiculous things. And then when he got called out for it on Twitter, he went melty and blocked people like a regular tyre boys.
Like Suze or Robbo.
We've got to go with that prick. He's a dickhead.
Soggy deserves a dishonourable mention, though.
I can't go without giving a dishonourable mention to Lance Uppercut, who was basically everything that Marty was on Big Footy without resorting to the death threats. His posting was awful this week about the Mitchell incident. He was cracking the salt shaker out and just fucking tearing up.
Speaking of tearing up, I'm going to give a dishonourable mention to Dub. Stop fucking crying everywhere. You're making it worse for yourself.
I've got two dishonourable mentions.
Let's all tag them all.
Yeah, let's
And
all tag
professional
them.
We
too.
go to PM or whatever, every Carlton supporter into fucking X's thread. Suddenly, as soon as Carlton start
Oh,
winning,
yeah.
they bandwagon back in like
Aren't
the
they
cunts
chirpy
they are.
fucks? Get out of our thread, you
fucking
bastard.
hell. Aren't they going to be so proud at the end of the year if Carlton beat the 6 ex-players from their team by 3 goals? Won't that be a fucking accomplishment?
We're X's bored that they can't lurk and like them. They need to fuck off. Get out of our thread.
Also, go you clubs for trying to get the backfire for the disobedience training thread, who's having a meltdown over that.
I nominated Pups for this a million weeks ago. He's still melting over the same thing. This just keeps giving.
Chunky Chicken, Leg End, and Ed. You're all getting tagged.
Leggett made a dick of himself too.
Oh, I did.
Was it on the Swans board?
He always,
Yeah.
always makes a dick of himself.
And dishonourable mention to the professional so we can tag him again.
Tagging a lot of people in this truth.
I'm going to tag Dubs when he gets to see my quill.
Soggy, though, spending all that time on the Dungeons and Dragons football board when he could have been fronting up to the Bay after the Melbourne loss and pretending that he was doing better things. Like, if you're posting on that
Bullshit.
board, there are a million better things you could be doing.
I had better things to do, like role-playing as an elf who plays football.
And on that, we went with Melody Marty, didn't we?
Yep.
That was fantastic. And kudos to every other flog who tweeted him after we got blocked. I think Harry Hawks had a good crack at him, actually got a few bites. Russ got a few tweets. But yeah, his melt was especially funny because he tweeted the Hawthorn link about Hawthorn's injection regime. And he tweeted to just about every journalist in the book. He tweeted it to everyone from John Ralph down to Aaron Riley. So I don't think Aaron Riley would
fuck's
be interested unless there was a reference to fucking David Hill suppositories or some shit. Last week's poll, should Teach change his supporter team to that of his current bandwagon? Only 4% say he shouldn't.
I think that was me.
64% was the winner, said yes, and 32% said if Jack Watts played for Geelong, he'd be jumping ship too. Anyway, we'll move on to next week and the tips, starting with Kohlers versus the Puffers on Thursday night. And, well, Kohlers weren't very good. Puffers coming off the bye. This is literally the Puffers' last chance. They need to start beating some good teams, and if they can't win this week, what's the point?
It's hard to see Sydney lose 2 in a row on their home deck.
Got to
Yeah.
say, I reckon the Puffers are fucked, and
I thought you were going to say they're going to win. I was like,
and Sydney will roll them.
Kohlers will smack them.
Yeah, there's going to be no tippet this game, which probably helps Sydney, so they'll win.
There's no buddy.
Yeah, nobody cancels it out. They'll have to play Sam Reid forward.
I go Sydney.
Have to go for Sydney.
Collingwood versus Hawthorn at the MCG. I think this is when we find out the real Collingwood, and Hawthorn will beat them convincingly.
Will they be
I think
brave?
we won't. No. Teachers on the Hawthorn bandwagon. Go the Pies.
Hawthorn will win by about 85 points, and Segler to kick a bag against his old side and show everyone how good he is.
Yeah, Hawthorn will win for mine. Not by 85 points, you dickhead.
Collingwood to lose by a small margin with a very brave performance.
I think that it's confirmed that Teachers tipped Hawthorn and Dan's tipped Hawthorn, so we must win.
Have to go for Hawthorn.
What do you think I'm tipping them?
She's on the bandwagon.
Yeah. But I'm tipping them
And you burn them.
for the reverse.
Yeah, I get it. Don't say
The
it.
reverse luck.
No, Teach, when you say that, it doesn't work like that. Because you deliberately picked Hawthorn, it won't happen.
We're thinking too much about this. We're overthinking the bandwagons. Bandwagons crash, that's all they do.
Roby overthought, and look what happened to him.
Highlight, Roby.
Lost all his beans.
But he didn't lose his novel.
That novel's going to have a lot of pictures in it, I think.
Well, at least Travis Cloak won't be lost then.
So many input errors in that novel.
Yeah, who's going to be his editor? Look after the grammar. Anyway, did everyone tip that? I've completely lost track.
Yeah, everyone's
awful.
Collingwood.
Richmond Giants, I think will win. Does anyone think the Giants will beat us?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Tigers all the way.
I'm hearing a yes from Morgs.
Team of the mighty Giants. Yep.
They got too many injuries. We should beat them comfortably with our three
That's
tools.
why you won't, because you should.
Yeah, you'll fucking smack them.
There is a chance that you may go into this a little complacent given your victory over Sydney. But you should win.
I think that's a possibility, but they're coming off the bye as well, and I don't think they're equipped to take advantage of any complacency at the moment. Gold Coast versus North. North for everyone.
North. Oh,
Gaz is back, but probably.
oh, I hope not. Take another week off, will you?
There'll be 6 players out due to fucking club-imposed road suspensions.
Well, then Gazza won't be back then, will he?
What day is the game?
Saturday twilight.
You want the weather too?
No, I just want to make sure they
That's
don't have
very
church on.
Teach-like.
If it was
what
Sunday,
day is the game on? Where is it at?
if it was Sunday, Gary would have to be at church. You would have missed another one.
North are going to beat Gold Coast, and we all know
Yeah,
it.
North.
we should just move on because really I don't think
yeah.
anyone thought Gold Coast would win.
Why are we trolling the one Gold Coast supporter?
Bulldogs Carlton. Does anyone give Carlton a hope?
Yeah, I do.
Well, they've won
actually,
2
but,
games in a row now.
Do you think they'll win?
but I'd still stick with the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs will smack them.
I'm reluctantly tipping Carlton.
Bulldogs to tear them a new arsehole.
Yeah, Bulldogs easily to show why they're a top 4 quality team.
You're a wanker, Penal. You're a real wanker. I don't even care who loses this game. I win. One of those cunts will lose.
What if it's a draw?
Then they both lose. Only shit clubs would celebrate that, so both of them would. They'd probably sing their songs
Yeah,
afterwards.
just like only shit clubs would celebrate a brave
brave.
loss.
We were brave.
Much bravery.
It's a good thing you two aren't in the same city. It'd fucking be on.
It's all tension.
It is all tension, yeah.
Listen to you talking it up.
Morgs, you said a draw would be nice. Did you tip a draw?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone give Melbourne a chance against West Coast up in Darwin?
Yeah.
No.
I'd say yes, because it's
Yes.
purely in Darwin.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree with Cookie. The
These things are where anything can happen.
unpredictability of the ground.
They are where anything can happen, but I'm still on West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast by plenty.
I would have still
I think-
shit, but it'll be
I think-
close.
I think West Coast will win, but it'll be close, and Melbourne are a chance.
I'm going to D's. Fuck it.
Essendon, St Kilda. I think St Kilda win.
I'm tipping St Kilda.
St Kilda.
Yeah, got to go with the Saints.
Unless Adam Schneider fucks things again.
They'll get the moral victory over the cheats anyway. It doesn't matter what
If-
happens.
If St Kilda do what they should have done a long time ago and drop Schneider and Gilbert, then they'll probably win. And I'm probably going to tip them anyway, just because Essendon's list is that fucking garbage.
Essendon are mentally shot and they're shit.
I reckon that's the point, Cookie. I reckon they're mentally shot. And so
Hey.
St Kilda will win.
And they just limped over the line last time we faced them, and they'd rely on Ab Schneider being a fucking shit cunt in front of goals. So
The most interesting thing in this game will be whether any other St Kilda players go the on-field sledging to the Bombers.
I'll be disappointed if they don't.
I reckon you'd get crowd members giving it to Hurd, though.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
seven
yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's an Essendon home game,
All
though.
pointing to their arms. You might get tape on the arm.
2001 grand final.
Adelaide versus Geelong at Adelaide Oval.
Teach, you can go first.
I don't have any problem going first because Adelaide will fucking win.
Since Teach is off the Geelong bandwagon, and I'm now on it, and they won last time in Adelaide in a convincing fashion against a better team, Geelong will win by 5 goals.
The Crows are better than Port.
The Crows are concerning, but so are the Cats. I don't think we'll be seeing any masterpieces painted this week, but the Crows will win.
I think that Geelong will lose.
Yeah, I'm going to Adelaide.
Cats.
Eddie to kick 4. Lift X's, you cunts.
Does anyone...
No.
No?
No.
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 Brisbane Fremantle,
No.
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 Oh,
No.
you've got to be kidding, don't you?
No.
There's got to be a mercy rule for these games. Like, just don't worry.
This is the week where Pav skis and everyone says he's back. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. You're exactly right. That's what will happen.
That's what I'm predicting, and I'm thinking Freo, after having to do away with that brave Collingwood, will come up against the Brisbane side who's not quite as brave.
I don't know. I'm not sure how they'll back it up after
Good
that.
catch.
I'm going to go for the Bryans. They can't back it up after that win they
Tell-
had at the break.
Tell you what, if the Bryans win, wouldn't that just throw a spanner in the works?
That would be the biggest upset since Gold Coast rolled Port in 2011.
I'd
But,
love to see it happen, but it won't. Brisbane's
Freo-
winning, Fife only touching it 10 times.
Freo are actually going to kick a big score, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, look, Freo can kick a massive score."
They're going
But
to score. They're going to kick more than 10 goals.
Freo to
What
tear
about-
him a new arsehole.
But even if Freo win, they'll probably still only kick 80 points.
Anyway, this was the vlogcast for round 14. Starburns joined by Teach,
bye for now.
Penal,
See you guys.
Morgs,
So brave.
Cooksen,
Satisfaction guaranteed.
and Dan.
So brave.
Fuck off, Dan.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Get well, Suze.